Hello, Koreans. Have you ever wanted to make your custom map but have no idea how to use Kour? Today you will learn everything about making your custom map and publishing it to the category. Let's begin. Alright, let's start by opening Kour Editor. In this version of the game, you can do this by clicking the button labeled Kour Engine. Another way to open it is by going to Settings, then Info, and scroll down a bit until you find Kour Editor. Click the Try Now button next to it. Kour Engine will begin loading, which might take a moment. Once it's loaded, you'll see the interface with an empty field in front of you. Let's start with navigating in Kour Editor. Hold the right mouse button to look around. While holding the right mouse button, use the W, A, S, and D keys to move in different directions. You can also use the Q and E keys to move up and down. Use the mouse scroll wheel to move closer to or further away from an object. Now you know how to move around in Kour Editor, so you can easily fly around your objects and look at them from different angles to position them just the way you want them to be. Speaking of objects, let's move on to learning about them. To create an object, click the New Object button. Here, you can choose its shape. Don't worry if you select the wrong shape. You can always change it later. For now, let's start with a simple 1x1 block. Here is our block. It should appear in the middle of the editor. You can fly around it to see from every angle. Let's explore how you can interact with this object. On the right side of the screen, you'll find various boxes you can modify. To change the name of your object, use the corresponding box. Below that, you can adjust its properties, such as the X, Y, and Z positions. You can also change its rotation and size in the same way. However, there's a more convenient way to change its properties. In the upper left part of the screen, you'll see hints on how to interact with the object. First, click on the object in the hierarchy to reveal the interaction points. To move the object, click the Move button at the top left panel. Alternatively, press the hotkey indicated next to it. Then, select one of the guiding axes, represented by multicolored arrows. Click on the desired arrow with the left mouse button and start moving the object in the desired direction. If you click on the small square between the arrows, you can move the object only within that plane. To enter rotation mode, press the button indicated in the tooltip above. A sphere with multicolored lines representing the rotation axis will appear next to your object. To rotate the object along an axis, click on the corresponding line with the left mouse button and drag it in the desired direction. Alternatively, you can click on the sphere itself to freely rotate the object in all directions. To enter resize mode, click the button indicated in the tooltip at the top left of the screen. Of course, you can also use the hotkey shown next to it. You will see 3 axes with small cubes at their ends next to your object. To resize the object, click the left mouse button on the desired axis and drag to increase or decrease its size in that direction. If you want to proportionally resize the object along all axes, click on the white cube in the center and drag it. This will evenly adjust the object size along all axes. If you have modified an object but want to revert it to its original state, use the Undo or Revert action. You can do this by clicking the corresponding buttons in the top tooltip panel or by using their hotkeys. Some objects, such as spawn points, are not in the hierarchy, so you can't interact with them directly in the same way. To interact with these objects, hold down the left mouse button and drag across the screen to select the object. Ensure the object is fully within the selection area. Once selected, you can interact with the object using the previously mentioned methods. You can also select and interact with groups of these objects simultaneously. Returning to the study of object characteristics, let's move on to the mesh. By clicking the Modify button next to it, you'll open the Shape Selection window. Here, you can change your object's shape to any available option. For example, I can change my block into a palm tree, and now I have a tree. I can also change it into a car or a bush. Note that all previous characteristics, such as position, rotation, and size, are retained. Only the object's shape changes. Next, let's explore the texture field of our object. This is straightforward. Click the Modify button and choose any texture you like for your object. Textures allow you to make your map look more interesting and dynamic. Finally, let's look at shaders. Click the Modify button to choose between two options. Shaders determine how textures appear on your object. Different shaders suit different scenarios, so choose the one that looks best to you. Here's what the textures look like with different shaders. Note that changing the shader can't be undone with Ctrl+Z, at least on this version of the game. Once you've created and customized an object, you can use the hotkey combination Shift+C to copy it and Shift+V to paste it. This allows you to duplicate the object while preserving all its properties, saving you time during map creation. To delete an object, select it in the hierarchy and click the Delete button. You can also use Del key on your keyboard. To better estimate the size of your objects, Kour Editor includes a dummy that corresponds to the size of the game character. This helps you visualize the scale of the map relative to the player. Make sure to save your progress. Open the File tab in the top panel of Kour Editor, then click Save As or use Ctrl+S. This saves a .kour file of your map, which you can reopen anytime. It's useful if you accidentally lose progress or want to pause and return later. To reopen your map, go to the File tab and click Open, or use Ctrl+O. You can then select your map file from the Explorer. Everything will be restored, and you can continue working. If you want to start a new project, go to the File tab and select New Project. Kour Editor will open a blank project, allowing you to start a new map from scratch. Keep in mind that creating a new project will overwrite the current one, so make sure to save your work if you plan to continue with it later. Let's explore the other tabs on the top panel, starting with Project Settings. Click the Project Settings tab to access your project settings. In the General Settings section, you can choose the map mode. Click the box under Game Mode and select the mode that suits your needs. You can also set a default skin for players on your map. Choose from all available skins in the game. Next, specify which weapons will be available to players. Click the box to select weapons. The first click sets the main slot, and the second and third click set the additional slots. You can repeat selected weapons. To allow players to use any weapon, select None, enabling them to change their class during the game. Let's move on to the Physics section, where you can adjust various physical properties of your world. For example, you can modify the strength of gravity to control how strongly players are pulled toward the ground. You can also enable or disable the dashing feature, which allows players to make sudden, quick movements, as seen in modes like Moonsnipe and Kourcraft. Additionally, you can set the player's speed both on the ground and in the air. In the Info section, you can update the name of your map. To save your settings, click the green button at the bottom to apply all changes. To exit this tab, click the button in the upper left corner. The next tab is the Navigation tab, which you can use to exit Kour Editor. In the Help tab, you'll find documentation and tutorial videos to guide you through using Kour Editor. While working on your map, you can test it by clicking the white triangle in the center of the top panel. Choose your preferred test mode. If you choose Local, you will test the map on your own. But if you choose Online, you will be able to invite other players to join your map. Note that in online mode your room will be private, so to invite other players, share a link with them or invite them using the in-game invitation system. To exit test mode, simply press the Escape key and then click the Leave Game button. You'll then return to map editing mode. Once you have finished your map, you can publish it. To do this, go to the Publish tab and click Publish Game. You will then be offered to add a thumbnail for your map, which you can choose from your own files. Here you can also enter the name of your map and add a description, which will be displayed on the main page right under the map's name. By publishing your map, you accept the agreement, which you can also read on this page. Finally, click Publish My Game. After publishing, moderators will review your map, and it will appear in the list of all custom games. Here we are, at the end of the video. I hope this tutorial has helped you understand the basic concepts of Kour Editor, and you will start creating incredible games that will gather thousands of walkthroughs and positive ratings. We wish you the best of luck on your way of creating maps. See you soon, Kourians.